Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it Shifting from Thought to Space. Let's look at this together. When we say that you are, all we're pointing to is to the space-like beingness, which is pure experiencing, which is right now, right this moment. You simply are. You cannot negate the fact that you are. And the invitation here now is to rest in space while looking happens, while hearing happens, while feelings and sensations are happening, but nothing is happening to anything or anyone in particular. These are just simply happenings. And every time I say, for example, don't identify with any thoughts, the challenge still is that it seems as if though I'm telling you, which you are a thought itself in all there is, but I'm telling you to not identify with any thoughts. And in reality, I'm not asking you to not identify with any thoughts. I'm simply pointing, this is just a pointer that suggests if there's no identification with any thoughts, what remains? You see? And what remains is the space in which everything seems to appear and disappear. So right this moment, all your attention is on the thought you, who's now all the attention is on the image that you may be seeing if you're watching this video or if you're listening to it. All the attention is to the sound that you're hearing right now. That's all the attention. But in reality, all that is really happening, if you're going to use that word, is space. That's it. And everything else is a distraction to that space. The space has never gone. The space is still, is ever present, but it's overlooked by the sounds that I'm putting the attention on or focusing on, or the thoughts that I'm focusing on, or the images that I'm focusing on, or that are being focused on. But in reality, all that there is in every moment, which is the only eternal moment that there is, which is not a moment, it's eternal, is just space. That's it. And all we're doing is beginning to shift from specifics to the space-like. That doesn't mean that specifics will not seem to appear, but they will no longer be distraction because you're not engaged by the thoughts that is judging them. You're just observing the natural flow of life unfolding on its own. See? And this idea of a me who's focusing on something, all of a sudden it started to debilitate. And you're still living your life like you have always done, with the difference that the focus is not so intense, it's just more like relaxed. See? And that's when we shift from thought to space. And you can put it to the test right now. Right now you're listening to me and the attention is in me, but right now all I'm saying is relax for a moment, just relax, and just see how the sound's still in there, but it seems like a sound that is appearing rather than you're putting all your attention on it. Just sort of relax. I notice that in an open relaxation there's a lot of sounds taking place right now. Many of them probably you are not aware of, but if you're open, you're hearing the sounds of my voice. In my case, for example, I'm hearing children in the streets. I'm hearing sounds of vehicles. You see? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sounds taking place. But if you were talking to me and all my attention was to you, or actually not even that, if I were daydreaming on a particular thought, all of that would be completely obliterated. I don't know how to say the word, you know. It'll be complete. It's like disappear, like if it's not there. And then I open myself up again and, oh yeah, there's sounds, all sorts of sounds that seems to be taking place. So when you open yourself up to this space-like presence that I'm pointing to, the content of the mind does not have the same impact. You see? Everything is seen more relaxed, so to speak. Nothing is really personal, because the only problem with the thoughts is that we take them personal, that's all. If it's not personal, it's just a thought. If nothing is personal, because there's no identity with the thought I individual who supposedly is the one reacting or interacting or responding or perceiving anything, then life is, again, nothing is personal. And yet I am. What I am remains. And the tendency, at least for me, is that there's a natural move to silence. Silence does not mean that the noises are there. That doesn't mean that the sounds won't be there. That doesn't mean that visions or anything will not be there. You know, everything will remain, but there's a space in which we rest. And this is the invitation with these videos, actually. That's it. And the only thing that makes this very difficult, I always say, is because, yeah, the belief that I'm this separate entity, but also then you have all sorts of different ideas that comes with it. My responsibilities, how do I function in the world, what do I have to do? Again, because the idea, or the recognition, I should say, that I'm not the doer has not been fully established. And if you still have an issue with that, watch the video, Do We Have Free Will? I have the link on the description, because I just put the tension on that particular theme, so you can see that you're not the doer, that life is happening, whether we think it or not. And yes, the mind can go into, well, if life is happening, that means that if I'm supposed to be stuck in believing my thoughts, there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, you can say that, and at the same time I'm saying that in the happening of life, this video appears, this information appears, and you are inspired to listen to it. So, you know, just act as if you actually make the choices when you know that you're not making any of them, and you take the weight off of them immediately. And then life is a flow that is unfolding, full with surprises. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't need to know what's going to happen, and it's irrelevant because it's happening anyway. But when there's no self-centered, you know, where there's not a center, so to speak, then it's just open. It's just what is. And that's why this is something we cannot talk about. You know, I made a video about that. Because in reality, this is just pointing to the fact that you've always been. It's just that first you are, then the mind identifies with the center, which is the seeming I that I claim that I am, this seeming person, and then it's being conditioned with all sorts of beliefs about it, and all we're doing is just basically dismantling them so you can see the obvious, and the obvious is that you are. And the only thing that is overlooking, that is overlapping, that is a thought. That's all. There's nothing else. A thought believed in. Because you haven't or the investigation hasn't been done of, you know, let's see where the thought's coming from and who's thinking it. See, the mind always go, I'm thinking it. No, I'm not thinking anything. Thinking happens. Breathing happens. Life happens. See? It's not happening to me. It seems to be happening through me, but it's not happening to me. And then you see how simple this is. You wake up in the morning, life happens. Throughout the day, life happens. You go to bed, life happens. Independent of you. Because life happens, and you are the instrument that life seems to be using in order to move through this maze called projection. But life simply is, and you are. So again, let's put it to the test to see that this is not something esoteric. This is very practical. The only thing is, again, when I say put it to the test, you think that it's you who's putting it to the test. However, within the limitation of language, we still use the words to try to point to. So right now, right this moment, what's happening right now? But here's the key. Don't tell me with the mind what's happening. Don't evaluate it. Don't judge it. Don't give it a meaning. I'm not asking for answers. I'm just asking you right now, what is happening right now? And if you don't believe any thoughts, what is happening is what's happening, the happening itself. And to whom that is happening to. And again, if you don't believe the thought is to me that is happening to them, it's just happening. Life is happening. And yes, we'll say, yeah, but I feel this feeling, there's sensations and everything. No, life is happening. Feeling seems to be happening. Sensation seems to be happening. Thought seems to be happening. Sound seems to be happening. Everything seems to be happening. But everything is happening in the space that this is what we're pointing to. You see? And this is right now, the space is what is, except that the mind is identified with the me, that now he thinks that I am this person who's thinking and is going to try now to just be. You don't need to try to be, because you are being all the time. Try not to be. Literally try. Come on, give it a shot. And tell me what it feels like not being. Tell me what it's like non-existing. Without any thoughts, because again, thoughts are not going to help you with this. There's a sense of presence. This is what I'm pointing to. It's a sense of presence that is impersonal, and it's not something that you can talk about. It's not something that you can describe nor to understand, but it cannot be denied. That's the thing. You cannot understand it, you cannot describe it, but you cannot deny it. You know? You cannot deny the fact that you are. You don't know what you are. Okay? You don't know who you are. Unless you go to the mind, and the mind is going to sell you some kind of information. Oh, this is who I am. Or this is what I am. But without the thought, you don't know what you are, and you don't know that. And you don't know who you are. But one thing that remains is the fact that you are. You are being right now, aren't you? And when the mind comes out with, yeah, but we look at the problems that I have and everything. These are thoughts. This is what I'm pointing to. In space, none of that has any effect on you. Nothing that may seem to be happening within space can affect the space. The space is what is needed in order for that to be happening, right? So, you are, and that's it, and whatever seems to be happening in what you are is the distraction to the fact that you are, and that distraction is not a problem except when the thought begins to judge the distraction. Otherwise, it's just simply what is. And life continues to unfold. The way that life is going to unfold according to the play that you're supposed to be a part of. But it doesn't matter what the play looks like. The bottom line is that when the shift is from thought to space, then everything is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with anything. But when space is shifted to thought, then there's judgment. This is right, this is wrong, I should, I shouldn't. See? And once again, once you know that you are, and this really is seen clearly, because you cannot say that you are not, you simply are. But don't tell me what you think you are. I am this person, this is my name, this is where I'm from, this is what I do. No, these are thoughts. All of these are thoughts. Again, put it to the test. Don't take my word for it. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to investigate. Right now, just without any thoughts, what remains? What's left? Technically speaking, what's left is you. The real you. Not the seeming you that is wearing a costume. But the real you, which is ever present, eternal, which is being, is what is, and life is, and you are, and that's it, and this is all there is. Well, this is what came through. I hope it served, and as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.